What's up, YouTube? It's Mike with Off the Deep End Aquatics, back with another video. So last video we emptied the 240 and moved all the fish. So now the 240 needs some work before I can move it upstairs, which is the plan. And yeah, it's gonna start by buffing the tank. So let me show you guys what I want to do here. If you guys have been following me for a little while, you'll know that I kept Pinky, the giant gourami here, I kept him on the left side of this tank for a little while. And now if you notice that when you come up, he likes to do that. He's very aggressive. He just really wants to eat, honestly. So when people come by and they want to see all the fish, I show them him and they love that he attacks their finger. And honestly, I like it too. It's kind of fun. But the problem is he was really scratching this tank up very bad from the inside. One of my biggest things, besides wanting to clean the tank up anyway, is to try to buff out some of these bad scratches here. So I cleaned the tank as well as I could, and you can see how bad some of those are. So my goal is to make those disappear as much as possible, and I'm gonna try to do it without sanding, but unfortunately I'm worried I might need to sand that. And the rest of the tank doesn't have any serious scratches, but it does have a little bit of a haze to it on the right side. The left side doesn't have the haze, but now it's covered in scratches. The haze should go away after buffing. I'm pretty confident in that, but I am not too confident I'll be able to do this without sanding. So I'm gonna give it one round of novice 3-step system and buff it out and see what I can do. All right, guys, well, I'm a little discouraged. I just started with the 3rd step, and I really buffed this. I put a lot of time into this, and it did not really get me anywhere. So judging by how little that really accomplished, I know that I need to sand this. So I'm gonna have to wet sand the tank, which makes this a lot more complicated. So I ended up not wet sanding this tank. It took me a few days. I had to order some more of the novice polish kit, and I got a bunch of bottles of step 2, which if you've ever buffed acrylic, you'll know that the 2nd step seems to be the most effective. So the 3rd step, I put a lot of time in, which is for the really heavy scratches, and I didn't accomplish anything. So I got a couple bottles more of 2, and I decided to buff the inside of the tank with 2 a bunch of times and really take my time on it, and I was very effective. So I'm not going to wet sand this tank like I thought I was going to need to. Now there are still a few scratches that you'll see, but it's much better than it was before. So it is good enough for me for now, and the tank has developed a slight little haze that I can clean off. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to finish plumbing the tank and then move it upstairs the way it is, and then buff it all again upstairs. So I'm gonna buff it one more time. If you guys are interested in seeing acrylic buffing with the novice kit, I can go through that with you guys in the next video. Let me know in the comments down below if that's something you want to see. I don't want to bore people with it, especially because there are a lot of videos on buffing acrylic on YouTube already. But if it's something you guys want to see, I can take you through a few of the steps of buffing it one last time once the tank is upstairs. But for now, I'm gonna be happy with the progress I made on it. And with those lights on, you can see a definite haze there in the front, but it'll wipe off. It's a weird haze, and I used a cleaner on it, and I think that's what developed the haze. The cleaner is for acrylic, but it definitely left some kind of weird haze there. So that will wipe off. I'm not too concerned about that, but huge progress on it overall. Moving it is gonna get it dirty. It might even scratch it more because it is a big tank. It won't be easy to move, so I'm not going to do any more on buffing this tank until it is upstairs. And again, Let me know in the comments down below if you guys care to see any of the buffing process. I can do that in another video. And another update on this 180 that has everything crammed in here right now. I actually picked up a couple of smaller Florida Gar. They were a really good deal at the local fish store. I couldn't turn them down. I have wanted to add a couple. I didn't like having just one solo Gar, so this is cool. Got a group of 3 of them now. And I added them right into this 180. I will treat the entire tank. I plan on treating this tank like a quarantine tank anyway for the time being until I'm ready to move these fish to a more permanent situation again. They're doing pretty well. I haven't got them to eat yet, but it's only been a couple days. My Florida Gar has started eating very well again. As you can see, he's fattened up quite a bit. So he's doing well. Everything in this tank is doing pretty good. I did move the Aquatics to the 1100, so I will show you guys that now. The Aquatics was fine when they were in the 240. I think they had enough room to kind of get away from each other, but my giant gourami here was not having it with him in here, and I'll show you, he got pretty beat up, so I decided to just move him back to the 1100, and he seems to be doing much better in there. So here he is in here now. I enjoyed, the Oscar's not gonna get out of the way. I enjoyed having him in here anyway, but you can see how beat up his fins are. He was a mess, he was missing scales, it was getting really bad. So I had to do something. This was really my only option for him. And I like having him in here anyway, so we will see over the next week or so. His fins will heal right up. I'm very confident in that. Everything in here seems to be doing very well. And it adds some more color to this tank, which I like. Looks like everything is excited to see me. They think I'm gonna feed them. I've been trying to feed them a lot more too, keep them happier. They're bigger fish, and they blow through the food when I give it to them. Especially this guy, who is just becoming a monster so quickly. In just 6 months, it's pretty incredible. Because I got this TSN RTC hybrid a couple months before getting this Achara hybrid, and you can see that the Achara hybrid has just taken off past him. It's crazy. He's got almost 6 inches on him, if not more. So that's crazy. The growth on him is just amazing. But I notice I really gotta feed him more often, because otherwise he gets real aggressive with stuff. So he's just becoming a tank. By far my favorite cat. It is not just because he's so big, but man, that pattern is incredible. But I could go off and just show fish. I never stop talking about fish. I was really just gonna show you guys the Aquatics, but I'll let you enjoy the tank a little bit. So one last thing I guess I'll show you guys in this video is I've made some progress on the beginning of my walls here. I'm slowly working on finishing this section, which divides off a lot of the basement utilities and kind of gives this a cleaner look. Eventually I would like to finish the whole basement, but this was the start, and once this wall is complete, I can move these tanks up against that wall and open my space back up. So that has taken a lot of my time. Not much else has changed around the fish room in the past week, but this is a huge thing for me to try to get that done so I can move these tanks out of the center of the room. I really like it having more of an open space. I don't like all this stuff here. I like to be able to walk through here. So that is pretty much it. That's all that's been going on, and I will continue to keep you guys updated on how things are going. So thank you guys as always for watching. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in that next video.